Hey friends, welcome. In this video today, we're going to be looking at the amazing Polyllop. So Polyop is polyphonic and it allows you to sequence up to 4 voices at the same time. It's also polymetric, which allows you to set different rhythms for each one of those voices as well. It allows you to sequence the rhythm, length, and velocity of the notes. Polyllop is great if you want that hardware sequencer playability right within your DAW. Let's jump into Ableton Live and see how it all works. So I've dragged Polyop onto an empty MIDI track here, press the little button here to open it up to have a look. And if I press play, you will hear nothing because Polyllop itself doesn't have any sounds built in. It will sequence other VSTs, plugins, or virtual instruments you have within inside your DAW. How you set this up in Ableton Live is you would need to create another MIDI track with an instrument. I have Poly here and I have set the MIDI input from Polyllop and then I have set it to Polyllop. And that means this track will now receive the MIDI sequence from Polyllop. So let's get sequencing. So first up we have gate, which is essentially the on-off of the note. Without any of these engaged, we will not hear any music. So if I click and drag all the way to the right, that will engage all the 16 steps in the sequencer. So let's press play and let's hear it. And then I can go and turn certain points off to create a rhythmic pattern. I can also click up here and I can drag and I can shorten the sequence. Notice how this gate sequence runs independently to this down here. So this here, the gate, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's gate or on off for each one of the notes on our 4 individual voices. Now down here is the pitch section, which this deals with adjusting the pitch for each one of these voices. So line A is voice 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can simply drag up and down to adjust the pitch. Now down here in the global settings, and this can be toggled off and on, this little button here, we have what you call a scale. And this, we can lock the notes to a scale. So we can put scale lock and then we can choose a root note. And then I can choose a scale. It has lots of factory pack scales, or you can save your own scales. I'm just going to go like minor pentatonic. There we go. So we've got D minor pentatonic. I have a few other global settings here. We have the clock. If it's 1/16, we can go and adjust it to speed it up or slow it down. We have a swing. We have clock. This is where we can trigger the clock by a MIDI trigger or gate. Clock means it's going to just run in sync with your DAW. Then we have octave and transpose. I guess this one I can put back to 0 and I can just put that up to 1. And then we have transpose via MIDI when this is enabled. And over here we have a 12 pattern bank. This is really cool. And this can also be triggered via MIDI as well. So we could have one pattern going on here, conveniently press over here and have another pattern. Very cool indeed. Okay, so let's start making some music with it. So I've got a scale lock here. I'm going to go up. I'm going to find like a D note. Let's go this one here. Then I'm just going to go up the pentatonic scale. And then I'm going to put my sequence to 4 notes here. And then I'm going to adjust this to 4 notes here. So remember, they are polymetric. So it means they run on their own patterns. And this will come super fun in a minute. So let's have a little listen. Nice. Okay. Now let's put some notes in B. Cool. So let's put like a higher note here. Now, can you hear they're going on top of each other? Because remember, this is polyphonic. That's a good point, actually. You would need to have a polyphonic instrument to reap the rewards of this polyphony. If you put on a mono instrument, you're not going to get those 4 individual voices. So the instrument you sequence needs to be polyphonic as well. Now you can hear they're going on top of each other. I have 16 steps of gate here, 16 steps of pitch. If I put a few different kind of pitches in here, maybe like one up here, and I'm going to put down the steps of gate. Can you hear they're coming in at different points? Nice. Okay, let's put like a different kind of pattern on C. Let's do it a bit higher. Let's do, yeah, something like that. Make it only 3 notes. Nice. Yeah, hey, this is sounding really cool. Maybe a few more on. Now we have length, hold, and velocity. So we can drop down here and we can adjust the length and the velocity. Now this all depends on your envelope settings you have on your synth. Here I've got quite a plucky sound. So when I adjust the length and hold, it doesn't really do anything. But the velocity does show up. So if I go and like put this one up, this one down, let's do something similar. Let's put them down there. I'm trying to do the opposite. What's going on? Great. Okay, so we have the workings of a track going on there. So this is going into Poly, and then I have it going into Pigra, and then another really cool little Max Fly device, which is Tiny Space. See what this one's doing. So it just adds a little bit. I really like it. So let's bring in the rest of the track. Let's bring in some kick. Nice. Some other drums. Wicked. Now let's try adding in another pattern here. So I'm going to go to pattern 2. Similar sort of thing. I'm going to turn on maybe 4 notes at the top here. Maybe do like a lower, kind of moodier sort of pattern there. Let's hear that. Oh, that's really cool. Maybe something. Great, now let's try alternating those patterns. So I have pattern 1 and pattern 2 being pattern 1. So now this is sounding pretty great. I want to export that pattern and put it directly on the Poly channel. So I need to define the length here. So this is 1 repetition of this. So if I want to make it, say like 2, I can just drag up. And then this little button here enables me to drag a MIDI generated file onto any track. So I'm just going to go click, drag it all the way over there. Okay, now, so to hear that clip, I'm just going to simply turn off Polyllop and then close it down here and just double click on the clip and launch the clip. Now this is playing the MIDI clip. This is fantastic because I can go in and do all my usual MIDI editing in Ableton Live, like duplicate it, and then maybe just take a section out to give some variation. So that's Polyllop. You get that hardware sequencer workflow directly within your DAW. Now, as you were seeing there, I was using some really nice sounding audio effects. One here, particularly called Pigra. If you'd like to see how to use Pigra in a bit more detail, you can do so in this video here. See you in the next one.